Star Wars and some
Hi
of them.
guys, we're live by the way. Just so you know. So mid conversation, but what's going on, guys? My name is D Limes, and I'm gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid 2, the VR portion of the game. I'll be doing missions as the Ninja Raiden. It's kind of a knockoff ninja, if you will. It's just riding in a ninja suit.
Oh, it says
We'll be doing 41 unique missions. A little bit of sneaking, weapon mode, some bomb disposal, and killing some dudes. Um, but yeah, time will start when I select this first level, and I will get into it, and then I'll let these guys kind of take over and explain a little bit. So, in three, two, one.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. For anyone who doesn't know, in MGS2, just like MGS1 and also Ghost Apple, there's this sort of side game where you play levels that can last up to literally less than a second to sometimes several minutes, and they're becoming a different variety of levels. Some of them are just sneaky levels where you have to go from your starting position to a certain goal, which is what Lime is doing right now, in a certain amount of time. And then there's also eliminate all levels, elimination levels, where you need to kill all the guards or knock them out in a certain amount of time. There's bomb disposal levels where, just like in the full game, you have the coolant spray. You have to find the bombs, just dispose of them in a certain amount of time. Um, for VR, it's mostly an IL game to focus on trying to get as close as close as possible to frame perfect strats for the ILs. And on top of that, there's the score bonuses for like no kills, not getting alerts, wasting the least amount of ammo, and so on. But in the full game run, which is what Limes is doing right now, we don't care about any of that. We're just going for whatever's fastest RTA points, because it is possible to go faster IGT wise with pause buffering strats, but it wouldn't be useful in this full game run because you'd be pausing so much that you would end up losing whatever time you would save IGT wise. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that, Joe or Thomas?
Yeah, so I guess for those just tuning in, I mean, it's me again, Joseph Joe Star 316. I mean, probably
He's
heard a lot
everywhere
about me
today. What a legend he is.
Yeah, so I'm kind of vaguely familiar with VR, but like Platonic said, there's a lot of optimizations to consider, especially with, depending on which scenario you do between Raiden Snake, and of course we got this Raiden, ninja variant, right? So it's just you and the sword in the game, and as well as things you can get away with. But it's a lot more of a respectable challenge the more I've seen it, because like Platonic said, sometimes we've had like IL by IL basis, but for a full run of it, it's actually really impressive like what's involved into generating a sufficient run while trying to, be quick with it, and it's scary boys there, but I'm sure that was intentional.
Yeah, and this level of particular sneaking game, this is a good example of where the IL is completely different than the full game. For the IL, you want to play on a very, very specific version of the game, PS Vita version, or on PS TV if you want, because there's an exclusive glitch for that level. Just makes this level significantly faster. But because we're not doing the full game run on the PS Vita, because it's going to be a million times slower for every other level, you don't get to see that IL strat. Instead, you get to see a variant of the IL strat for the other consoles. Another level is like this one, Sneaking 10. We recently found a new strat for this level. It's somewhat risky, so for a full game setting, we're not going to be doing it. It also involves what we call silent shot, where if you pause at a very specific frame of the game, a very specific moment during the game.
Not to butt in, Platonic, but D-Limes, before you go on to the next one, can you
I've
lower
been
the
trying
game
to.
and then
Yeah, I've lowered it as far as I can go without hearing it, and I've upped you guys in Discord, so...
Okay. All right, I was just making sure you saw it.
I hope everything's fine now.
All right, so I guess chat's saying it's fine now, but yeah,
Okay.
just a little bit of a adjustment. So yeah, we're good. Yeah, keep going, Platonic.
Yeah, so like there's certain IL strats that you would never do in this setting, not just because they're basically frame perfect, but because they involve pause buffering, which is slower in an RTS setting. And this is one of the first few levels of the eliminate all levels where I said, again, ideally you would go for the blue blade, because you'd get a score bonus for going non-lethal. But changing to the blue blade wastes a second or so, RTA wise. So because we don't care about the score bonuses, we're just gonna go and kill them. It's faster to do this RTA wise.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess maybe another thing to mention, Platonic, is for people that may have noticed, is he's running the Japanese version of VR. So I guess what's the benefit to doing that versus like the NTSC version?
In VR, I don't think there's that much of a difference other than just the voice acting. In full game, it actually does make somewhat of a difference in like the amount of codec scripts and some of the speeches at the end of the game. But as long as you're not playing on PAL 50 for VR, you're fine.
Yeah, because I thought there was another thing too, where it's like every time when you normally complete a VR stage and you get a voice line from, you know, like, "Oh, good work, Raiden," or it's like,
Yeah.
you know, from
Yeah,
somebody, but the
Yeah,
go
you
ahead,
don't
Jonas.
get you don't get that in the Japanese version, which if you do these levels over and over again like I do, sometimes that can get real annoying. So I consider that a benefit in the Japanese version, but in all reality, it makes no difference.
You know, and I guess time-wise, given that you don't have like that scripted message at the end, does that save up time over the course of the VR full run?
The only time you're going to save time RTA-wise from that, like the message itself doesn't matter if it plays or not. If you get first place, it does matter because it hesitates. Because in Substance, it usually would give a clear code, and it would take the time to display that clear code. You don't have a clear code here on the HD version, but it still does that little delay if you get the first place score. So in an RTA setting, you really don't want to get first place. It loses almost a second RTA per level.
That's they're considering how many levels there are in the entire run, that can easily add up to
For sure.
half a minute.
Yeah.
She also mentioned that you are playing on a save file that already has high scores on it, so you intentionally, no matter how fast you go on it, since it doesn't have the fastest strats, the fastest IL strats, you're not going to get the highest score, and you're going to avoid losing that 1 second RTA wise.
Yeah, it's just from a little bit of practice before the stream actually started, so I may still beat the scores since I usually don't save my top scores anyway, but yeah, it was just to save a little bit of time.
I was gonna say, and before he beats his own time on a stage somewhere.
Right. Yeah, this level can be really tricky because of that guard running, so I'm glad he didn't spot me there. That was one of my fail points in practice.
Yeah, I should also mention that for a lot of these VR levels, you have the game over discovered condition turned on, which is as soon as a guard spots you, it's an instant game over. Whereas in other levels, that's not necessarily the case. They'll see you and then they'll try to radio in an alert, but the level still keeps going. So for like these sneaking levels, the eliminate all levels, you have to actually play very safe. Because an alert, you're taking game over, you're starting the entire level all over again.
With something as
Yeah, it's
jank as the HF blade, it's not as easy as it sounds. I despise the blade with a passion.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people like wish that they could use the HF blade in earlier parts of the full game. It's not as great as you think it is. It's a really bad weapon for this game. It just doesn't play nice. It doesn't control nice.
Like right there, you go to stab a guard and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't kill him. It's jank.
It's a budget Zendatsu blade for Revengeance, which takes place later.
Right. And the other big thing I hate about it is it kind of has like an auto aim characteristic to it, and that can really mess up certain strats, or you'll get spotted if you're not careful. Like, look at that! I stabbed. So there you go, first fail.
I think that guy was wearing some armor.
I guess. But yeah, the sneaking levels in this run, again, alright, I'm just going to swipe them. No more stabs. The sneaking levels in this run are a heavy reset point. Once we get out of the sneaking levels, it's really not too bad.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask if that's what is probably like the, not really the bottleneck, but like what's like the highest risk parts of the VR for this, which, you know, I thought it was gonna be something along the lines of what comes after the sneaking, not the sneaking itself.
No, because the weapon mode levels, they're pretty self-explanatory. You're just hitting targets. Not really much can go wrong there. There's one variety level that can go a little haywire. But it's probably the last level of this run, Elimination 10, where you have stealth guards, guards with shotguns. That can be a royal pain, and that's a bad pattern, so I'm just going to reset. And this level can be a bit of a pain too, because I have to lure 2 guards to this area, so that way I can kill 2 at once.
Should also mention what you're doing with the blade before you're going up staircases. If you swipe at the sword and just keep holding the analog stick in any direction, you can walk upstairs and keep your walking momentum. Because if you just walk up the stairs regularly, Raiden walks up to them really slowly.
Yeah, welcome to stabbing in this game. It's terrible. The blade sucks.
I was about to say, you almost had like a, you know, guard shish kebab there, but...
Yeah, that's the idea.
But yeah, but like Platonic said, like when you hold the blade up or down, it puts him into like a certain stance, which, you know, given the animation, it bypasses the stepping animation. Whoa!
Wow.
Jeez. That was that was butt clenching right there.
But yeah, like I said, it overrides the animation for walking upstairs, and you just get the regular movements.
Yeah, because like I don't know if we want to say that it's not necessarily a bug, but I think it's more of an oversight. Meaning, you know, normally when you get the blade in full game, you get it towards the end when you're not really going up and down stairs at all. So maybe perhaps they never thought of, well, what happens if a player goes up the stairs while holding the blade a certain way and they just give you full speed? Because they never really programmed in like a slower animation.
Yeah, like for these VR levels, they weren't in the original Sons of Liberty versions. They came in substance, so there was no stairs. When you get the blade in the full game, it's an ascending colon, and then there's 4 rooms after that until the game ends. Like you said, there's no staircases, so you'll never actually experience this.
So thankfully we're out of the sneaking levels and we're just hitting a bunch of random targets, so a little more pleasant than what we went through those last few levels. A lot of people despise the weapons levels. I kind of like them, not with the blade of course, but with other weapons. It's just target practice.
I think the only weapon stage that I never liked myself was probably like the grenade launcher stages.
See, I don't mind those.
As long as you have the RGB6.
Yeah, if you have to use hand grenades, it's trash.
The ones I hate the most are the PSG1 levels, the sniper levels. I just never liked those, and thank God you don't have to do with those levels with Ninja Raiden. On Ninja Raiden, you only have to do 5 weapon levels with the blade, because...
Wow, now that was fancy.
He's actually not supposed to have any other weapon. What's funny about Ninja Raiden is that even though he looks like he's Raiden just reskinned, if you try to force the game to equip like grenades and stuff with Ninja Raiden, the game glitches out and Raiden can't move at all. He's not programmed to equip any other weapon. Well, he's equipped certain other weapons like M9 and stuff, but like grenades and stuff like that, he's not programmed to have a stance with it.
Wait a minute, hold up. Raiden reskinned. Wait, you mean this isn't Gray Fox?
Like I said it before, it's just a knockoff.
Man, I don't know how to feel right now, other than just, I don't know. Oh wow, that was also fancy what you did there.
Auto aim. Thank you for the auto aim. Oh well,
Yeah,
lost
so
a couple
like,
seconds.
Yeah, so like D-Lime says, is one of the mechanics is that whenever you're close to a target, and when you try to either swing the sword or punch, it's gonna gravitate you towards that target closest to you. So it's not always like a free aim, which would be nice for something like this.
Yeah, and some of the angles of this level is just really awkward. So sometimes the auto aim is usually very helpful in the game, but in some of these levels, because you're so close to several targets, the game just will randomly choose whichever one to aim at sometimes.
Yeah, another little thing that he did there was like he cartwheeled over the gaps, versus dropping down and climbing up. It's something I believe only Raiden can do, in terms of like, movement tech over, snake scenarios.
Yeah.
Now, shout outs to Sergeant Silent for this level. We optimized it quite a bit, and this is probably his favorite level ever, so it's not a bad level.
I do remember when me and Sergeant were going back and forth on this level.
It's way more fun to do lethally than non-lethal, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then this is one of the examples of where being in the alert will not just end the level because of the game over if discovered, because that's only within the sneaking sections.
Yep. And hold up if there was hold up, but we're not holding people up with the blade, so that doesn't apply.
I don't know. I think you could try to hold them up with a blade. It would look weird.
Yeah. That'd be
You can
a
actually hold up
hell of a
birds
challenge.
You can actually hold up birds with like magazines and stuff. I don't know why that works, but you can. So, but you can't hold them up with the blade, unfortunately.
All right, so now he's starting the alternate or alternative missions. He did the I think what was it like? Just like the variety stuff first, or was this variety?
The one level I did was variety. The rest of it was just called VR missions.
All right, gotcha.
So all the alternative missions are they take place in the actual full game arenas, whereas in the VR missions section of the VR missions, they have their own areas. So you can see like the first area was in Shell 2 core. This is in the engine room tanker.
Oh yeah, don't worry. That guard's not dead. I think he's just asleep.
The funny thing is, on VR, that does count as a kill. So,
you're not supposed to tell him that.
Whereas in full game, it wouldn't count.
I don't know. It's just MGS2 doing MGS2 things. I don't even know what the reasoning is.
Yep.
Oh, I should also mention, so in the full game, there's two sensors. There's a sensor A and sensor B. Sensor A, it affects your radar. It tells you where the bomb is visually. Sensor B tells you where the bomb is with an audio cue. The closer you are to the bomb, the more like you'll get more ticks. In VR, some of the bombs, if you get too close to them, they'll actually explode, and that's like instant game over. So there are certain bombs you want to get close so you can get what's called a fast bomb and defuse the bomb like a second faster. But there are other bombs you want to be as far away as possible so that you don't get a game over.
Oh, very nice gap jump there. Because again, cartwheeling, more than just for boosting yourself ever so slightly, but it will get you across gaps like that, even though, casually speaking, some people may have shied away from doing that just because of like how scary it might be to miss the jump.
And that gap can be especially hard if you got guards shooting at you like the Tengus were with me, so lucky to get across that. So these guards are blind, clearly.
I don't know, I mean, they're just tapping.
So if you go in between their dot on the radar and their actual field of vision cone, they won't actually see you. Which is
GS2 has the best AI.
I know.
Yeah, the Galugovich unit only hires the best, even though they're sometimes, questionably blind.
What's great about like these alternative missions is you get to visit certain parts of the tanker plant with the other character. So now we just went through 2 rooms in tanker, engine room, and then each set of rooms in tanker with Raiden instead of Snake. And then if you were to do the other VR missions like Snake and Tuxedo Snake, you can visit like Big Shell, all of Shell 1 with Snake. You get to experience all of MGS2 with either character, whichever one you want.
Only the best.
That's offered.
One more bomb, and then just one more bomb level left.
Wow, that was an interesting stair flap into the trigger line there.
Just crashing into the stairs is actually faster than just walking into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like rolling up the stairs with Snake, but doing that is still technically faster. Not by much.
Yeah, just as a PSA, don't try that at home. The rolling up the stairs part.
Yeah, I definitely would not. Oh, whatever. I'll just take the alert. Alright, so I'm going to clear the alert here. For these bomb disposal levels, if you do restart, it just restarts you in that room, and you don't have to redo the whole level. So sometimes we can abuse restarting to clear alerts. When I get into the next room, I think I'll do that. Because my health is getting a little bit low.
I should also mention that in this VR level on Disposal 5, there's actually a way to get out of bounds. Because in this VR level, the only areas you're supposed to visit is anywhere between Strut B and Strut D. But you can actually exit doing a glitch and just go explore all of Shallow 1 if you want to. Just completely out of level. You can also the game just like sort of thinks that you're in a Snake Tail, but also partly full game. It loads up different areas. Guard patterns are sometimes from Snake Tails and sometimes from the full game. I've heard someone say that this was probably the out of bounds for this level was probably a test area for developers because you find some very interesting things. You can find a guard that if you hold them up, it treats it as if it's a holding gun.
Yeah. I almost died.
That was scary.
I wasn't close enough to the bomb. Alright, so just one more section, just 10 more levels to go. So this is a pretty fast run.
Yeah, I guess other than the one, sneaking stage, this is going pretty well.
Yeah, it's really a shame too, because I do have my splits open.
Yeah,
so here you could... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Platonic.
I was just gonna say, this is one set of levels where you get to see one of the mechanics of the blade, which I don't think you might have done it in the bomb disposal one so far, where if you hold L1 while the guard is trying to shoot you, Raiden will deflect pretty much every bullet instantly.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that a bullet doesn't get deflected, but it can happen. It's not foolproof.
Yeah. Kind of funny because of the full game just picks up the blade and he's instantly deflecting bullets as if he's always been trained to use it.
Right.
There you go. That's an example of where you can deflect bullets.
So I'm just going to drop down here, try to get 2 guards at once. Whoop, just got the one, but just slash him real quick, be on our way. Stab you. Deflect some more bullets, stab, stab, and stab. A lot of stabbing in the elimination levels, which in the last couple days I've really come to enjoy these. And it's actually prompted me to present an idea for the VR boards that we should split the boards by highest score and fastest time so we can do stuff like this. Because you wouldn't be able to get a high score doing this because you lose 2,000 points for killing and then up to 1,500 for your sneaking bonus.
There's also bullet counts certain levels, but it wouldn't apply for Ninja Raiden, but other characters. You want to be very specific with your bullet counts, and for other characters who have like M4 and AK, you can't really spam with it because you want to be careful with bullet counts.
Yeah, bullets can be anywhere from 5 to 50 points depending on what they are, so that can really add up if you're going for a high score.
Yep, the ever reliable stab at it again.
So levels 6 through 10 will feature shotgun guards. If I get hit by the shotgun, it is a one-hit kill, so I do have to be careful.
I should also mention that you can't really block with the blade. You
No,
has a shotgun.
cannot block a shotgun shot.
But I guess the real question is, could Gray Fox block a shotgun shot? Because I bet you he could. That's why we got the knockoff one here, who could barely block it.
Kill him! Thank you. Yeah, so that could have got worse. One other thing I'll point out is the health kind of varies depending on the mode you're in. Like for here, it's 4 shots to death. The bomb disposal levels, you can take a lot more hits. So the difficulty is ramped up depending on what you're doing.
And I guess, does that also vary by character as well?
Yes.
Yeah, like MGS1, the game treats it like it's as if European Extreme, and sometimes it's even harder than that. If it's 4 shots to kill, then I guess it would be Extreme.
It'd be in between Extreme and Euro because it's usually 5 to kill on traditional Extreme.
Yeah. And this is only the second character in VR. But it goes up and down, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, because this is like quote-unquote the hardest Raiden. So, but there's not 4 versions of Raiden like there's 4 versions of Snake. There's 2 and like a quarter versions, because X Raiden's 1 level basically, so that doesn't really count for anything. Yeah, that was a pretty clean level.
Very nice.
That
Yeah,
last
these
guard
guards-
on the stairs can be a royal pain because of his hitbox.
These guards are the assault team units in the full game, but they bring them here. And I believe if they, in full game, if they see you, it's an instant alert. But I think in this mode, they have to actually radio when the alerts.
Yeah, I think that's one of the exceptions that was written into this, because, you know, in normal scenarios, yeah, if a SWAT team sees you, it's an automatic alert. There is no delay.
Ugh. Come on. Come on. One of you. Thank you.
Yeah, talk about bringing a sword to a gunfight.
That part how fast he moves.
And it's also ironic because these same Tengus can also use blades.
Yep.
Okay. One more level to go, and it's one of the hardest ones. Like I said earlier, you have shotgun guards, you have stealth guards, you have the weird pattern that is going to be the engine room. I could fail this level, so we'll see.
Or I believe in you, D-Limes.
That guard there is a shotgun guard, so I gotta be careful of him. I believe there's 2 more shotgun guards I gotta be weary of.
Yeah, so there's an interesting variant right there, which is a sentry with a riot guard shield, which is usually in the full game only usable by the SWAT team.
And it's also funny, you can see the guards here, some of them are using stealth camouflage. You would not see that in the actual full game. It just makes this level even more harder because you can barely see them.
Where are you? I don't see you. Where are you? Oh, you're shooting from up there. I gotta go back and get you. That's a shame. Oh well, a little bit of a bad pattern there. But as soon as I exit this level, that'll be time. And that is time. So, pretty chill run. Didn't go too bad except for the couple of sneaking levels, but hope everybody enjoyed it and has been enjoying the stream so far. And I want to give a special shout out to Sergeant Silent, who came in an emergency basis to do the restreaming earlier. Not easy to do under pressure like that, but you did a pretty good job. My hats off to you and to everybody who's put together this marathon in such a quick period of time. I mean, we've already rose $265. So, I mean, that's pretty good for one day. But just want to say thanks for having me, and I'll be back tomorrow with the full game run of Metal Gear Solid 2 on European Extreme. So I definitely look forward to that. But that's it for me. If you guys want to say anything else.
No, I think I've said a lot today, but just, again, kind of highlighting a lot of what you said. But again, just shout outs to everybody putting this together and for all the, roller coaster tech issues we've had. But I think, going forward, it'll just, be really exciting. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up the next couple days. Anything you want to add, Platonic?
Not much. You guys pretty much just summed up what I was going to say. It's been a good marathon so far.
For sure. So, well, stay tuned for the next run, and I'll see you guys later.